आम्ही 21 June 1917 Vinay, who was 11, Vivek 8.5, we arrived in London. आणि आयल तशीची हांगा फ्रेंड्स रमेश and Nalini Vaketur, they welcomed us to stay with them for 2 weeks, which was so nice of them. And that is when Nalini used to take me shopping to get me, acclimatized, and also, to get to know things here. And then later we moved to our own rented flat in July 70. The only communication was through letters, and it used to make my day when I got a letter from India. I started working in July, and children got used to attending the school, coming home, doing their own stuff. And at that time we didn't know that we couldn't leave children on their own till they were 14. But we used to ring and talk to them, so we knew that they were safe. From 1972, we started visiting India every 2 years because of my husband's office. They were booking the ticket for the whole family, so we were able to visit. And while there, I used to pay Vantiga in rupees and visit Bangalore Mutt.
म्हाका लग्न जावन हांव 1970 हांगा येयलें. तावळी हांगा चड कोणें आमची गल नाशिल्लीं, जाल्यार मस्त कुळार चुगडास जातालो. म्हाका एक मावस भयणी नर्सिंगा खातीर SRN करूंक हांगा येयली, लिव्हरपूल आसताली. ती न्याय येवन वचून आशिल्लीत, म्हाका मस्त आधार दिसतालो. म्हगेल कुळारा म्हगेल आवसूक परम पूज्य आनंदाश्रम स्वामीजींचेर मस्त भक्ती आशिल्ली. ती आमकां ती केन्नाय डिसेंबरांतू साधन सप्ताक मठांक घेवन वताली. मागीर घरांतूय आमगेल्या गणपती, तळी, चवथी सगळे सण साजर करताले आमी. हांगा येना फुडें थोडे काळ आमी केंट आसतालीं. मागीर आमी 1.5 वर्स जमशेदपूर वचगलीं. जमशेदपूरथान येना फुडें म्हगेल माय माव रिटायर जावन हांगा आयिल्ली ती. आमी उस्टपाक तांगेल घराल्या घर घेतलें. तावळ दोन सुद्दां आमी तळी, चवथी सगळे सण सगळे सम करतालीं. जन्माष्टमी, होळी सगळे करतालीं. मागीर आमगेल 3 चेडवां हांगा उपजल्लीं. तांकांय हांव सान आसतना दवरून हिंदू धर्मा बद्दल शिकयल्लें, रामायण आनी महाभारता बद्दल शिकयल्लें. मागीर ती व्हड जालीं आनी आतां म्हगेल नात्य प्रार्थना वर्गांतू मठा बद्दल शिकयत आसत तांकां, आनी थोडे श्लोक शिकयत आसत ती. तामी खुशी जाली. 1975 समाजाने एक कमिटी स्थापन केली. तांतू आमी दोग जाणांनी भाग घेतिलो. तावळ दिवाळी तांणी स्कूल हॉल घेवन समारंभ करून गमत करतालीं. जेवण करचें, चेडवांगल डान्स सगळं करून गमत करतालीं. परमपूज्य परिज्ञानाश्रम स्वामीजी हांगा आयिल्ले. तावळी हांव तांतल्या थंग जप घेतिलो. मागीर ते थोडे जाणां ओटू युरोप भायर सरले. तावळी मगल बा म्हणून तांचे ओट वचगल्लो. तांमी तांगल सहवास बरो मेळ्ळो. हांव तांतल्या थंग जपूय हांग घेतिलो. मागीर 1991 परमपूज्य परिज्ञानाश्रम स्वामीजी समाधिस्त जाले आणि परमपूज्य आनंदाश्रम स्वामीजींनी समाधिस्त जावन 25 वर्स जालीं. त्या मिती आमी एक घर आंतामगेलें. थोडे जाणांक आपोवन भजन दवरलें. मठा मणकेची दीप नमस्कार, शंकर नारायण गीत, मागीर थोडी भजनं, मागीर मंगल गीत सगळं म्हणून प्रसाद शिराच प्रसाद निवेद करून सगळ्यांक जेवण दिलें. तशें आमी 25 वर्स थंय एक अंगल घरा भजन दवरलें. म्हाका हांग येना फुडें आमगल खाण मेळनाशिल्लें. तावळी आल्लें, लसूण, वल मिरसांग कसलें मेळनाशिल्लें. मागीर थोडे गुजराती लोक युगांडांतल्यान येना पुरतांनी पुराय सगळं हाण न्हू आतां हांग सगळं मेळटा. श्रीलंकन लोकांनी येवन कडगी आनी मग्गें, वाळी सगळं मेळटा. त्यामीत कसलें वाण जायना ती. आमकां चेडवांक स्कुला खातीर वाण जायना ती, कामा खातीर कसलें वाण जायना ती तावळी. म्हणून देवागल कृप हांव मानता.
My father had come here before in 59. The first time we came here, we came by ship. It was called P&O Orontes. And we had a nice journey from Bombay to through the Suez Canal, Sweden, and all those places. But when we came to Marseille in France, southern France, there was a big storm.
Yeah.
And our ship got pushed into the harbor wall.
Yeah.
And there was a big tear in it. Of course, we felt it, but we didn't realize how big the tear was. The ship couldn't proceed through Gibraltar and then through the Bay of Biscay and to Southampton. The company decided to send us by ship, by train.
Yeah.
To
Calais.
Calais, and from there we took the ferry, and the storm was still there because it was very choppy. The
sea. Yeah.
In those days, winters were very bad.
Yes.
61 winter
Yes.
was very bad,
Yes.
and it got worse.
Yeah.
Sort of. But when it was still November. It was autumn.
Yeah.
And it was very foggy as
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah.
And very misty and dull grey. We had expected nice sunny. And I thought the roads were paved with gold, but it wasn't. It was more like tar. Papa came to pick us up when we got to Victoria.
Yeah.
From Calais. They would allow the car to come on the platform. Mr. Desai, who was here before, who helped us to settle down,
Yeah.
he took us on in a car.
Yeah.
My father was driving and he was
Navigating.
like a guide.
Yeah.
He was showing us most of the harbor.
Yeah.
The dock area was still in ruins
Yes.
because of the Second World War. They were bombed out, but the carcasses of the building were still there. Indian food, Indian vegetables, even bananas was a rarity.
Yeah.
And these people had never heard of there were very few Indian shops.
Yeah.
There was only one shop which sold where you could get Indian stuff.
Yeah.
And that was Patak's. We used to go there every Saturday. We had to go to Camden
Yeah.
to buy vegetables.
Yeah.
Because in those days, Camden town
Yeah.
was mostly Greek people.
Yeah. From
So they had all sorts of Greek, which was
Vegetables,
kadgi and mentali.
Okay. Why?
So it was, we had to buy that was the nearest Indian vegetables we could get, was in Camden Town.
Yes. Okay.
And also, we used to go to the High Commission,
India High
and they had a canteen
Yeah.
where we got Indian food.
Okay.
And while we were eating, somebody overheard us talking in Amchi.
All right.
And this old couple,
Yeah.
the fellow came over and he introduced himself, and we found out that he was Mummy's uncle,
Yes.
Shankarashram.
Yeah.
He was a forest ranger in India, and when he retired before the war, no, after the war or something, in 40s, late 40s, after the war,
Yeah.
he had settled there,
Yeah.
and he was a teacher. When I joined Loughborough engineering, he sold me his car. He wanted to give it free, but I had to pay £1 to make it legal
Yeah.
and transfer it to my name.
Yeah.
So £1 it cost me. But mind you, in those days, £1 was quite, you could buy a car.
We came in the harshest of winters. I mean, we could keep milk bottles outside and it would keep cool. We never used to have Indian shops like we have now.
Yeah.
So we used to go to someone's house. I
Yeah.
remember going into the basement and getting rice, dal. That time there was no yogurt also available.
Oh my God.
It was very difficult. We couldn't make it at home because of the weather.
Yeah.
But sometimes we used to get like bhendi and things like that.
Some vegetables.
Yeah.
With the blessings of my particularly mother, grandmother, and Paridhanashram Swami. Before coming to UK in 1971, I had an opportunity to go to Pune for a seminar, and one of my friends, Nadkarni, who was very close to Paridhanashram Swami, he took me to see him at Pune, and we spent about an hour and a half with him. At that time, although I didn't know that I was coming to UK, but with these blessings probably I came to UK in 1971. From 71 to 77, I was in Manchester. My salary was converted from the rupees I was getting salary in India. So you can imagine how meager it used to be. 1985, I bought a house in Preston Road, and I stayed there till 2007. Paridhanashram Swamiji came to London. At that time, we were in Kent, and his headquarters were in Golders Green. So it used to be very difficult for me to come to see him almost every day. But once or twice I met him in Golders Green. 1999, we went to Shirali and we had the Maharudra done there. Thread ceremony of my
2001.
2001. And there again we were able to meet Swamiji twice. 89, I retired. Since then, my family has grown, and the whole family is very happy and contented. And again, I repeat, it is because of the blessings of Swamiji and my parents and the good wishes of all the people who I work with. Since landing in UK, we have been doing the puja of Ganpati on the Ganesh Chaturthi days without fail every year. And to start with, it was just the family, but thereafter we have been inviting so many families to celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi.
It was September
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
And he came with his entourage of 3 Bhatmams and Nalkur Sripadmam and Dr. Kalambe, who was his doctor. And they stayed with us, I think, for almost 3 weeks.
Yes.
And 1 week they were here, then they went to Europe.
Yeah.
But my job was only to clean the house.
So it must have been very busy in the house for that
Yeah,
one
it
week.
was. It was a nice occasion actually. You know, I really enjoyed it.
And now the
And
next.
the best thing was that Bhavani Shankar was in our living room.
We used to observe most of the festivals, like starting with Yugadi, and then, Gokulashtami, mainly Thai and Chauti, where we used to call our nearest friends who were in this area. We used to have them over for puja, and which continued till 2009. And at that time we used to have about between 40 and 50 used to visit us.
People from Cambridge,
people from
further afield also.
Yeah. So that way we had quite a big crowd, and we stopped it because of age. 2009 we stopped, although we are still doing the puja on the day. It was actually arranged by Nilavar Dutt Mam. He had already arranged and told most of us the arrangements, and we used to attend the puja in the evening every day till Swamiji was there, and it was really very fulfilling.
Before Swamiji came here, N.S. Rao, whom we knew, he came with his team. They wanted to check, they wanted to find out where to put the
Idol,
Bhavani Shankar. And Bhavani Shankar was established here and consecrated. So our house, 190 Golders Green, is actually a temple now. We are protected by Bhavani Shankar.
In September 1979, our beloved Param Guru, Param Pujya Parinanashram Swamiji, visited the UK and Europe on their return journey from their visit to Canada and the USA. After being welcomed at the Heathrow Airport, Param Pujya Swamiji and the retinue were escorted to late Shri Nilavar Dutt Mam's residence, which was to be their camp for the duration of their visit. Their living room was converted into Sanctum Sanctorum with a beautifully decorated altar adorned by Lord Bhavani Shankar, the Aradhya Devata of Chitrapur Saraswat. We are blessed to observe Param Pujya Swamiji perform daily puja at noon and deep namaskar in the evenings. Listening to the Vedics chanting during the Ashtavadhan puja, Shankar Narayan Geet, Mangalarati and Mangalpad transported us fondly thousands of miles back to Sri Chitrapur Mutt in Shirali. Leti in the UK had many opportunities to soak in the loving and divine presence of Swamiji and interact with them, especially during tours organized around London. One such tour was a visit to a cacti museum in Cambridge, as this was one of Swamiji's many interests. The visit was hosted by Dr. Satish and late Dr. Mrs. Geeta Mandigera. Another visit was to Cheddar Gorge caves that house stalactites and stalagmites, where the temperature remains cool at 11 degrees centigrade all year round. I remember asking Swamiji while passing by their side, "Swamiji, tum kshin khana hai?" as they were dressed in their normal light clothing, while everyone else was dressed in warm layers. Swamiji just smiled as if to say, how one who has control over all the elements be affected by the cold. On the penultimate day of their visit, Swamiji blessed us with an Ashirvachan, which was organized at the Bharati Vidya Bhavan, London. People came from near and far. Swamiji in their address spoke about the importance of Chitrapur Saraswat living outside of India to be in touch with the Mutt and be aware and proud of their rich heritage. They said that they understood the difficulties that families face in undertaking the journey back. So, when representatives of the local communities in the West made an earnest request for Swamiji to visit, after a long and hard deliberation, they conceded to the request and travelled overseas with Lord Bhavani Shankar. Swamiji's time in the UK with us sadly passed too quickly, and soon it was time for them to return to India. Late Shri Nilavatman and late Shri Nila Manjeshwar, along with a number of London laity, escorted Parampara Swamiji and their retinue back to the Heathrow airport, from where they made their journey back to India.
तुमकां मस्त लोकांक गोतू आसा की आत्ता मंजेश्वरान म्हणके मागची कालांत तो यान प्रयाण म्हणून म्हणटाले. यान प्रयाण म्हळ्यार आमगेल्या देशांतल्यान परदेशाक वचूंक गेल्ल्यांक जाती बहिश्कृत घालताले मठ. त्या कालाक समजावन तो धर्म आशिल्लो आनी त्या प्रमाणे मठाधिपती अथवा धर्मगुरू म्हणजे आसता ती तांकां तो धर्म परिपालन करपा पडटालोची. एक वैयक्तीक मनशांगल्या विशयांत दोश म्हूण जावो अथवा नक्क जालेले म्हूण सांगून घेवन बहिश्कृत घालनाशिल्ले जाल्यार एक वेदोक्त रितीने शास्त्रांत सांगिल्ले प्रमाणे तसले लोकांक एक बहिष्कार म्हणून घालताले. जाल्यार तातूंत केवल बहिष्कार मात्र नाशिल्लो, प्रायश्चित्तय म्हूण आसतालें. जर ताणें प्रायश्चित्त म्हळ्यार पांचामां वगैरे घेवन यथाविधी होम हवन इत्यादी करून ताणें शुद्ध जावन परत ताका मठांत येवच्यान थंय जातालें. तशीच मंजेश्वरान तावळी सांगिल्लें म्हणके आमगेल्या हड सोम्यांगल कालांत ते एक विशेष चल न्ही. ते म्हळ्यार कालूय बदल्लो, त्या प्रमाणे ताका समजायशी धर्मूय बदल्लो. ती एक 60-70 वर्सां जाल्ली. त्यानंतर परत कितकी धर्मांत त्याच प्रमाणे कालांतूय विशेशता चेंज म्हणटात ती तशी विंगड जालें. धर्मूय विंगड जालो, कालूय विंगड जालो आनी त्या प्रमाणे मोगल मठाक हांवें थोडी आमगेली बंधनां कमी केली. आनी मुख्य म्हळ्यार आदि शंकराचार्यांगले हिस्ट्रीन तूं म्हूण सांगीत आमी म्हळ्यार आमगेली परंपरा त्याची परंपरेंतल्यान आयिल्ली. आमी मात्र न्ही, आमगेले भगवान शंकराक देवाक थंय आमी परदेशाक घेवन आयले.
My husband, Chandru Bailur and Ram Hosangdi, they used to get together and arrange somewhere convenient to have a Diwali function, and every year, and charging only, according to the expenses, and that was a very good way of meeting people, and both my husband and I managed to produce a list of addresses which we used to circulate then, so that
Which you used to type up in the office, no?
Yeah.
You used to type it
Yeah.
up in the office and
Yeah.
then you
And
post
then-
it out to people.
Yeah, and then my husband used to take copies and we used to post it. So even though we didn't have
A Samaj membership.
Samaj as such,
We had a list of
Yeah.
friends, as it
Yeah.
were, right? Just the
Yeah.
community friends,
Yeah.
the people that we all knew.
yeah,
And we used to just circulate their details to each
Yeah.
other. Didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I came to the UK in 1988, soon after I got married. The help given to me by my in-laws and Sadhana and the family was a big factor in helping me settle down very quickly. And of course, the Saraswat community was also very welcoming. As time went on, I got actively involved in our Samaj activities as well, by way of being a committee member initially, and then I became a treasurer. And for a very short time, I was also the chairman. We tried and organized quite a few events. It helped, our children to appreciate our traditions and our culture. So, we had a lot of traditions that we kept alive, and as part of helping the little ones to familiarize with India, we used to travel to India with the family almost every year. We even were very lucky to have Abhishek's Munji in Shirali in the presence of Swamiji. At the moment Swamiji came into our life, much has been invigorated, and our community actually was brought back together in many ways.
Acts with Shirali are getting even more active. The next generation has come through. SCM, the Anushravasya Anapoda, I think that has helped us a lot. I listened to a lot of lectures there, Samangal lectures, Dr. Sudha Tinekara lectures. We are able to see the streaming of Samangal Pujya it's bringing the full Amchi community closer together. The NRI Shibirs are very good. I wish we could also participate. Abhinav Jaini last time, but I'm hoping he can participate at some time. Overall, Padela Ariyat, Canara Saraswat email Ariyat, post-COVID with WhatsApp and email and streaming and all of that is very good. In fact, first time 2004 antki 5 andista Shivratri Bengaluru, we had not yet come here. That was the first time we tried to stream something. Tajpur kar le ek pant kelele.
Right.
So I was also part of the team there where we got the cameras, we set it up in the mutt and tried to stream it. 64 kbps was a lot, Tavali, but we did that. Third recording, I think the streaming wasn't very successful, but I mean, pura record kon magar upload website ari. But that was one of the first times, and now it's almost as if it's common practice.
I've been very fortunate to have grown up with a very strong connect with our Guru Parampara, and I'm really grateful to my maternal grandfather and my parents who inculcated a very strong reverence for Lord Bhavani Shankar, Shri Chitrapur Mat and the Guru Parampara. Visiting Bandikere Mat and Koti Tirtha during the many summer school vacations in Gokarna was quite a routine. However, for the Amchi children and the youth of today, especially for those living abroad, developing this connect can be quite a challenge. Thanks to our Swamiji and his divine grace and blessings and his vision for the future, we have a well-established Prarthana Varg and Mooladhara, which is now getting more of a presence beyond India. In the UK, we now have a Prarthana Varg since 2020, and recently many members of the Mooladhara attended the Sanskriti Parichaya Yatra in December 2023, giving them an amazing opportunity to experience the spiritual, social and cultural aspects of the Mat, visit their local hometowns and also enjoy the natural beauty where our ancestors and forefathers lived. We were very blessed with the many interactions that our Param Pujya Swamiji gave the youth, and I'm sure that these experiences will be etched in the memories of the youth for years to come. Youth living abroad may not know the mother tongue Konkani, and in the USA and in the UK, Konkani speaking classes were started with a good response, and many youth and young children benefited from this. The Amchi diaspora is scattered around the globe, and we as a community need to come together. We need to participate in the activities of the Mat, and we also need to undertake local activity. As a strong group, we can then connect with the Prarthana Varga, the Mooladhara based in India, and we can come together globally. Thankfully, we live in a world of advanced communication, and our Sri Chitrapur Mat is very active. We are indeed blessed to have our Swamiji as a guru who tries his very best to be accessible and available for all those who want to understand and all those who want to aspire to seek His blessings. It is only through this strong connect that we can remain privileged and proud of our roots, our priceless heritage, and a glorious Guru Parampara.
I went on my Munji when I was 11 in 2004, and then I went on a Shibir 6 years ago in 2018. I first went to the Shirali Mutt when I was 11 years old, so 20 years ago this year. There was no WhatsApp then, but everything was arranged through my granddad, so I had little input and not much knowledge of what was going to happen. I do recall having my hair cut in a particular way, with a small island of hair left on the top of my head towards the back. My older cousins, who had long ago had their munjis, referred to it as a burnt idli, so I spent the rest of the holiday being called Burnt Idli Bob. I don't have much memory of the ceremony itself, besides hearing, for the first time, the Gayatri Mantra, which my dad recited to me quietly under a sheet. After I'd recovered from my illness, I met Swamiji, and it was just me, my sister, and my parents in this private session, and I was surprised to find Swamiji so down to earth. He spoke of his fondness for the work of Terry Pratchett and gave me and my sister Ferrero Rochers before we left. I don't recall much of what we spoke about, it was a long time ago, but I believe he provided a little bit of context about the significance of the Gayatri Mantra, and I later learned that he came to visit me when I was barely conscious with sickness. After returning to the UK, my dad taught me the mantra properly and encouraged me to spend 15 minutes a day reciting it, cross-legged and in silence. He did the same in another room. I kept it up for 6 months. It was said to improve concentration, but personally I found it didn't do all that much for me, and I gave it up after half a year. Dad continued for a bit, and once it became clear his good example was not going to nudge me into resuming the practice, he gave it up too. He's not a religious man, my dad, but he still wears his hanvar. He sees it as a tie to his dad and to his heritage. But as a self-conscious teenager growing up in the UK, I had a difficult relationship with my zanvar. Every PE lesson, as I got changed in front of my fellow pupils, I felt painfully aware of it. I saw it as a marker of difference, despite the fact that most pupils at my school were South Asian, and it wasn't long before I stopped wearing it entirely, slightly embarrassed of a custom I didn't really understand at the time. But things have changed since then, and I'm not sure whether it's my own personal maturation, or the fact that people around me were growing older and hence more tolerant, or the fact that the UK itself has become more celebratory of diversity, or perhaps all three. But in any case, I've never been prouder of my heritage than I am now, and I happily tell anyone who asks all about my Konkani background. I feel incredibly privileged to be Konkani, and it remains a marker of difference, but 20 years later, I couldn't be happier about the wonderful, special difference that it confers. By the time I was about 25, I'd begun to develop both a pride in and a curiosity about my heritage. And so it was that my 22-year-old sister and I embarked on a shibir at the Shirali Mutt. This was before the COVID-19 pandemic, so no one had heard of Zoom. WhatsApp certainly existed, as did Skype. I vaguely remember having some kind of video call or perhaps attending a webinar sometime before the shibir, where the general concept and program were explained to us. Once we arrived in Shirali, I was amazed and delighted to find that you could talk to complete strangers in Konkani, shopkeepers, rickshaw drivers, other locals, and they would understand perfectly. As a Konkani person in the UK, we're so used to being in a minority even among other Indians that to suddenly be part of a kind of majority felt like a very special kind of homecoming, even though we were very far from anywhere we might normally consider home. We were the only young people on the shibir, my sister and I, from the UK Sabha, though there were plenty of youths from elsewhere. And because Ulpi and I, my sister and I, were fitting it around my cousin's wedding beforehand and our flights back to the UK afterwards, we arrived a day late and had to leave a day early. As a result, we missed getting up at 5 a.m. to sweep leaves. Still not sure whether I'm happy or sad about this. There are two kinds of experience that I remember most from the mutt itself, the food and the prayers in the temple. The food was extraordinary. The rice is thick and fluffy, the dal is rich and creamy, and after 6 years I also remember idlis, delicious sambar, and munga ghashi. I also remember the temple experiences, which were an excellent exercise in mindfulness and patience. They often involved what seemed like long periods of sitting cross-legged, listening to, and if you could, participating in, the prayers. I also recall getting plenty of time to ourselves, which we spent napping, reading, or wandering around the mutt, which is beautifully constructed. Both the exteriors and the interiors are something to behold. Access to internet was limited, which was definitely a blessing. I don't know if that's changed 6 years later. But there is something refreshing about not having access to Wi-Fi or signal. Certainly I found that to be the case. Also highly memorable, perhaps even more memorable, were our excursions outside of the mutt. We visited the Goshala, home of the cattle that provided the dairy products that enriched all the vegetarian food. The Samvitsudha paper mill, where we could see how underprivileged women took discarded jeans and fabrics and ingeniously made paper out of them, step by step. Shri School, where we sat in on a design and technology lesson and saw how our donations had facilitated the construction of a design lab for the students. The school's art gallery, where we saw how the artistic skills of the pupils had been flowering. And last but not least, a microfinance initiative that made loans available to poorer women who wanted to engage in business activities. All of these activities were both humbling and inspirational. Vantiga and donations really do make a tangible difference to real people, and the Shibir really made that clear. There are also really good fun activities like going to the beach at sunset and swimming in the sea. And of course, how can I not mention Swamiji himself, who was generous with his one-on-one time and was undoubtedly an impressive figure, fully in command of his body and his mind and his breathing in a way that I've rarely seen. He fielded both private and group questions on all manner of topics, including trickier ones, such as why the role of women and girls in temple rituals is relatively limited. Swamiji is in a somewhat difficult position, you might say, having to modernize while also remaining resolutely traditional, but the changes the local area has seen while he has been Swamiji speak for themselves. I can heartily say that if you've not been and you're interested in your Konkani heritage, take some time to go on a Shibir. You'll meet similarly curious people from all over the world, forge lasting connections, and learn so much about what remittances can achieve. And of course, you'll have lots of delicious food and have a great time. WhatsApp and Zoom have helped us stay in touch with the Sri Chitrapur Mutt Standing Committee and receive continual updates about religious and secular initiatives that the Mutt is undertaking. On a Sabha level, I have to say that in the last 20 years, the UK Samaj has never felt stronger or more cohesive than it did during the COVID-19 lockdown, when virtual events had record-breaking levels of attendance and participation in Konkani language lessons flourished week after week.
My earliest memories of engaging with the Samaj are through the big Diwali functions that we held each year, ever since I can remember. There would always be music and dancing and various skits that were often in Amchi as well. And there would be an entertainment show and food, and it was a great opportunity to connect with other Amchis and share our cultural heritage with each other. We learned about that heritage and about Swamiji and the Mutt through various things that had been set up by the Samaj. For example, through Saraswat Day and Yugadi and occasional presentations at the AGM. And so these would be kind of fed back from the Mutt in India and would be a great way of us staying in touch with the information of what was happening there. And happily, the Diwali function is still going strong, and I think it's up to us to encourage the youngsters to be as involved as we were in the Samaj growing up, as there is a very rich community, sense of community to be a part of. And I think that sense of community was really solidified by the Shibir, which many of us saw as a great opportunity to connect with Amchis across the world. So last year, that's 2023, the Shibir had a really excellent turnout of people from the US, from Canada, from the UK, from Singapore, and it was really flawlessly executed and planned by the Sanchalaks who were based out of Sri Chitrapur Mutt. So I think there was a great balance of visiting initiatives that the Mutt had created or supported, for example, Samvitsudha and the school and the Goshala, but also there were opportunities for mindfulness and meditation through yoga and hikes and interacting with the beauty of nature. So I really hope that these initiatives continue into the future, because I think we all agreed after last year's Shibir that we'd created lasting connections with people that will last a long time, and that we would want the opportunity for others to be able to do that as well. Hi, I'm Kosha. So I moved here when I was very young. I think for me the Samaj is really important because I think when you move to a different country and you're not familiar with a lot of people here or the culture, we joined the Samaj so that we could be part of something a bit bigger and feel more connected to our roots. For me, our Samaj community and especially the youth have really helped me to feel better about myself and feel like I can connect and fit in, because I think when you move to a different country it's hard to feel like you fit in with the locals here, but also you don't feel fully Indian, you have that mix of cultures. So meeting people here has been really important to me and I'm really thankful to be part of the Samaj.
So we do lots of activities such as today where we're on a hike. Sometimes we go for brunch and dinner. We've gone to play golf. I want some audience participation. What else have we done? Too many things to remember. Also just going to dinner at people's houses because we're all friends as well as just a community.
I'll talk a bit about the Shibir. Had a wonderful time going back with some friends, and it was really good for me to learn more about the culture, which I didn't actually know very much about. But now I know where I'm from, the towns, the language, and yeah, it was really thought-provoking, but also made me realise how rich the culture is of where we're from. So yeah, it was really amazing to see what life is like back at home.
Yeah, when I moved, I honestly thought I'll miss Bombay so much. I'll miss all the Sabha activities that we do in our Sabha. But moving here felt nothing different, and everyone was amazing, very welcoming, very supportive, and all the activities that everyone organized were really fun, engaging, and I'm looking forward to getting involved in a ton of these activities and planning a couple for everyone.
We are very grateful to have Prarthana Varg in our class. It is a dose of positivity each month to us. आम्ही आभारी असती की प्रार्थना वर्ग आमगल जीवनांत आसा. आम्ही आमगल संस्कृती, देव, गुरु परंपरा हेच सगळे बद्दल आम्ही शिकताती. And children have an opportunity to learn about their roots, their lineage, our gurus, and also reflect within themselves as to what good and bad qualities each of us have. In every class, we learn something new ourselves. Often a child will reflect upon a story, bring their own interpretation, or just say something that reminds us that we are all divine. A similar incident we had when we recited the Guru Paduka Namavali and had some silent sitting. We felt the blissful presence of Swamiji in each of our homes. So on behalf of all the children and the teachers of Prarthana Varg of the UK, we offer our humble thanks and namaskars to Swamiji.
Jai Shankar, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Bhavani Shankaraya Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Welcome to the offering of our Prarthana Varg class of the United Kingdom. Our namaskars to Swamiji and our Guru Parampara. We like to attend the classes because it helps us to connect with our culture and our family. We enjoy seeing everyone each month and singing prayers together. We learn the shlokas, we learn about the Hindu gods and our gurus, and the celebrations over the year. We learn how to live kindly and with love. Although we live in the UK, we feel connected with Swamiji, the Mutt, and India. Thank you for creating Prarthana Vag class for all of us. Nirvignam Gurave Devu Sarvakareshu Sarvada. O Lord, with the cloud trunk and mighty Murti, and the brilliance of a million suns, I seek your blessings to grace my new beginning, to remove all obstacles as I begin to work. Jai Shankar, I would like to offer the Guru prayer to Swamiji. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnur, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru is Brahma, the Lord of creation. Guru is Vishnu, the one who preserves and sustains knowledge. Guru is Shiva, the one who destroys our ignorance. I bow down to such a Guru. Jai Shankar. Paradyada Shava Shri Guru Shankara Paradyada Shava Shankara Sadguru Keshava Vamana Krishna Paduraga Ananda Paradyada Guru Sadyojata Shankara Sadguru. Jai Shankar.
Jai Shankar. Karagre Vastaste Lakshmi, Kara Madde Saraswati, Kara Mule Tu Govinda, Prabhakara Darshana. Goddess Lakshmi resides at the top of our hands. Goddess Saraswati resides at the middle of our hands. Bhagwan Govinda resides at the base of our hands. Every morning we look at our palms, take darshan of these gods, and sanctify our day.
Sarva Mangal Mangale Shive Sarvati Sadike Shivanya Chambake Gauri Narayane Namostate. Salutations to you, Narayani Devi, the one who has three eyes, the auspiciousness in all that's auspicious, the consort of Lord Shiva, who helps and protects the devotees. To have a guru in life does not mean sailing a boat with no storms. It means having a boat that no storm can sink.
Jai Shankar. Sarvabhadaya prashamanam Trailokasya Kaleshvari Evamevat Vayakaryam Asmat Vairi Vinashanam. O Sarveshvari, Mother of three worlds, when you are pleased to remove all obstacles and troubles, and your blessing destroy all inner demons and enemies.
Shrivan Karoti Kalyanam Aryogam Dan Sampada Satku Bitti Vinachaya Jeevan Jyoti Namasade Namaste Sharada Devi Kasmira Parvasade Twahimam Kapya Devi Vidyadam Chadehime. Jai Shankar. Jai Shankar.
Nandantu Satka Sarve Vinashantu Vidushakaha Avasta Shambhavi Mestu Pasanostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sikinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukkhamapnuya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
हे स्वामी देवा, तुमगल दर्शनाने आम्ही पावन झाले देवा. शिवपूजन आमका शिकवलो, स्वामीनी पूजा केली. देवी पूजनाने लोकांतू भक्ती वाढली. आज गुरुपूजन कोरलो, तांगली सेवा कोरया.
चेडवां खातीर युवधारा स्वाम्यांनी सुरू केल्या. शिबिरांतूं तांकां जिवनाचें ज्ञान दिलें. परिज्ञान म्युझियम शिरांतूं काडलें. सगळ्या देवाक आमकां थंय पळोवचें मेळ्ळें. प्रवचनांतूं संस्कृत श्लोकाचो गोमटोवची अर्थ सांगलो. मनसा वाचा क्रियेचें तांणी मार्गदर्शन केलें. संवसारांतूं कशी चलचें हाचें ज्ञान दिलें. स्वाम्यांनी आमकां अमूल्य उपदेश केला. तांणी सांगिल्ले मार्गाने चलचे प्रयत्न करूया. स्वाम्यांक षष्टी पुर्ती खातीर इच्छा व्यक्त करूया. तांगल्या आयुष्य आरोग्या खातीर देवा लागीं सांगून घेवया.
सुखाच्या क्षणात
जे